how's it going? So the last video, we put the seats in the car. That went well. Nice and easy. Everything works good. If you watched it, you might have noticed. If not, I'll show you. I'm going to have to replace some of the floor pan. Otherwise, I can't really sit in that seat because I'll show you. There's nothing there. So this back corner, yep, it is pretty much completely rusted out there. So I am going to bust out the bead roller and take a shot at replacing this. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way across or do as little as possible. We'll see. We'll give it a go. Let's get to it. All right, so I'm moving along on this. I have no idea if this is going to work out. Fully prepared to remake this piece 3 or 4 times. Just getting started on it. Let me show you what I got to do first, just to get it test fitting. If you look at that edge, it just sort of starts rolling up there at the end. And it does it on both sides, and not as much at the front. So I'm going to have to try and match that. Figure it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's give it a shot. See if we can get this piece to fit inside. Once we can get this to fit inside, I'll figure out which dies I need to be able to pop this section up here and here. And then, I don't know. Originally, I was going to try and match it to look exactly like the factory piece. But I don't know what the point in that is. So I'll just do some beadwork in there, maybe put some lines like that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll give it a go. All right, well, so far that sort of worked. This is the second thing that I've ever made on the bead roller. We'll take a look at it here. So there's the original piece, and here's the new piece. I made some parts for the new seat brackets to mount. Something like that. I didn't get it quite right, but I got it close. So whatever, there should be room on the underside for the big washers. Yeah, so next I will start seeing about getting this thing in place. This was a piece of scrap that I had laying around because I did not think that I would get it close enough to use on the first try. And at some point I'll probably wish I had done it again, but for now this will work. All right, it's tacked into place. Pretty happy with how it's going together, all things considered. Let me show it to you. The bosses for the mounting brackets almost line up completely. That's shocking. So there it is, it's in there. I'm gonna take a little break and then I'm gonna go through the joy of welding all of that up, cleaning it up, and then remounting the seat. I wanted to go over, so that piece of metal is 18 gauge, and it seems to be the stock floor pans were either 18 gauge or 20 gauge. I'm pretty sure they're 18. That 18 gauge is really hard to work with in the bead roller. It flexes like crazy trying to work that stuff. I'm sure if it was lighter gauge, that'd be fine. So I'm gonna end up having to reinforce that bead roller if I'm gonna continue to use this stuff. So we'll see. At any rate, I'll get this finished welded up, get that seat put back in. All right, well, I'm not going to grind it all the way. I started doing it, maybe approaching halfway there, grinding the whole thing, but it's really hard for me to get in there to those grinds without grinding away other parts that I don't want to grind away. So I'll show you where we're at. So the issue is just with the stuff that I have available to me, which is a grinder. It's really hard to get into these areas to grind it down. And I mean, it's going to end up with sound deadening material and carpet over the top of it. So kind of what's the point? Yeah, so I'm going to get these holes drilled, seat back together, and get it installed.